Hey, kind of crazy, but I'm gonna see if I can do two quick videos tonight. One of the things that I've been thinking about for quite a while about doing a video is some thoughts that I've been thinking about transition and people's perception and things like that. And I wanted to. There's actually two videos of people that I subscribe to over the past, probably within the past month, that I wanted to respond to because they were in the same vein. But I just haven't gotten those done, and I went and looked for them, but I couldn't find the original videos to reply to. So, but one of the things the stage that I'm in now is that I've been transitioning for about 20 months. And, when you first decide to transition, once you get past making the decision, for me, it was I felt very empowered, and I felt like anything was possible. And, I didn't know, there was a whole bunch of unknowns, but with that unknowns, there also were these hopes and possibilities. Like I didn't know what transition would bring. And, when you start out, you just are hopeful that you transition well, and that, your appearance changes in a way that you become comfortable with yourself. And then, like, just recently, maybe in the last 2 months, at being 20 months into HRT, I know that the changes are going to be less and less. And, I've decided against having FFS, and I've decided against having breast augmentation. And, my appearance isn't going to change, like, a huge difference from this point on. And so there was kind of I don't know if it was a letdown. I mean, I'm very happy with my appearance. And I think maybe some things with other people have kind of wrapped into this. But in any case, I realized that that I'm probably not gonna. There's not going to be a part of transition where my friends and family are going to change how they deal with me, because they haven't. A lot of people haven't to this point. And that's been kind of hard. And, for me, I didn't want to disconnect from my family and friends, and I didn't even change my name. Like, I just didn't, I didn't want to run away from it. I mean, so I've decided that I'm going to not disconnect, and I'm going to be around people who are aware that I was born a boy. And there's, there's beginning to be a realization that, people, I think, are always going to see me as trans. But, the fact of the matter is that I always have been trans. Like, people saw me as a boy, all the time I was growing up. But when they saw me as a boy, I was trans. And then when, I'm transitioning, obviously lots of people saw me as trans, because being in the middle is kind of hard sometimes. And, strangers, while I've gotten great treatment from strangers, I'm sure people saw me differently. And then if there is ever a point, now strangers, I don't get served, so I think people perceive me as female most of the time. But even when they perceive me as female, I'm still trans, and nothing's going to change that. And surgery is not going to change that. Nothing's going to change that. I can't go back and have experiences that I didn't have. I can't go back. I just won't have that life. I won't ever, be complete, kind of thing. I don't really look at it that way. What I'm trying to do is have the best life that I can have moving forward. But I don't think there's any way to reconcile my previous experiences into a female experience. So my experience is always going to be something between. And, there's a lot of shame and pain and suffering in the community, and a lot of people don't want to be identified as trans. But I've been trying to think about it in terms of like a benefit, like that I have perceptions and I have perspectives that are unique to being trans, and it's given me lots of abilities, like, you know, self-control and discipline, which I can apply at work, and other personal things that I can achieve goals and things like that. I think a lot of that came from me being so determined about trans and so methodical and so, you know, careful that no one knew. And, you know, that's kind of turned into a positive thing. But me understanding, at least on a limited basis, men and women from a different angle, I think has really helped me. And, you know, one of the things that I try to tell people is, you know, we really shouldn't hold it against all those cisgender people that they're only one gender. I mean, it's sad that they can only be one gender, but you know, we really shouldn't hold against them, you know, and if they have a hard time understanding things, it's, you know, it's just because they're cisgendered. I mean, really, you know, how could they? But anyway, I wanted to, you know, the solution to me has been that I want to instill, I want to, first of all, have pride in being trans, and I don't want to hide that. And then I want to inspire that in the community. I want other people to start looking at trans as, you know, a positive thing, and that's been really hard to communicate with people around. I've talked to people, but they're not there, and you know, I don't know why I'm so different, but I haven't really found anyone who was there, and so I thought I'd put a video out there about the thoughts that I was having about it, and, you know, encourage a discussion, talk about, and it's not a very organized start to it because I was all over the place, but talk about being trans and benefits of that, you know, is there a way that we can have a community that comes from a place of power instead of shame and embarrassment and sadness and tragedy, which it seems to be, you know, so much. And anyway, so last video from my old place, the Cocoon, and next video will be from the new place. I haven't figured out what I'm going to call that, but it's definitely not a cocoon. Anyway, Happy New Year again. Take care.